There. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And we're nearing the end of what I think has been an amazing event. As I said in the morning, the first of perhaps many such blended events. For members of our audience who did not follow the entire day, we actually held some live sessions as well today at the Indian School of Hospitality. And then we've had many virtual sessions like the one we're going to have right now. So I think from the industry's perspective, and particularly with you gentlemen, and I'm going to ask you some questions about how you see the MICE business going forward as well. And I think this concept of blended MICE is going to become a little more of a buzzword going forward for many hotels. But as I said to all of you earlier, traditionally, Manav does the hot seat, and he really, puts the heat upon many of you. I'll be nicer and kinder in the approach I take to today's session. I think, as we were discussing leading up to the session, there are many things to talk about, but there are also many things which have already been spoken about. What I would like to do, given what a distinguished audience we have, and the wide range and diverse range of hotels, brands which you all work for, we're going to try and make sure that we cover particularly the aspect of people. I think that's been the theme through the conference as well. I know there are issues with business, with finances, with government, with local regulations, but I think everybody is beginning to agree that we are in the middle of a true humanitarian crisis within our industry. And whether those stakeholders are your owners, whether they're your customers, or whether they're your employees, it'll be very important for the audience to listen to you guys on the field who are literally on the trenches as to how you kind of are going about managing this. I'm going to just introduce you gentlemen by your name, and I will leave it to you then, each of you, to take the audience through briefly your journey, your career, where you've reached now. You're probably role models and mentors for many of the people who are listening to this session as well. So let me start first by introducing Nalin Mandiratta from IHG, and over to you, Anil, for a slightly more detailed intro on yourself.
Thank you, Dilip, and happy to be on this elite panel. I have been in the industry for around 30 years and have worked across reputed brands like Hilton, Radisson, Marriott, and now IHG. With IHG, I have been with them for about 10 years and have worked in Crowne Plaza properties across various geographies, from Delhi to Kathmandu to Gurgaon to Chennai, and now in Jaipur. And currently, I'm the area general manager in Southwest Asia and look after 14 properties. Thanks.
Great. Let me move on to Parag Sawhney, who's with us from Hyderabad, general manager at the Westin Hyderabad. Go ahead, Parag.
Thank you so much, Mr. Puri. And, it's absolutely brilliant, Nalin, Samrat, and Sunil, to share this platform with you all. Again, a big thank you to Manav for the invitation. So, yeah, a little bit about myself. 17 years in the industry, 2003, graduated from Pune Hotel School, joined the ITC Grand Maratha, Sheraton it was then, for just under a year and a half. Left India to sort of taste the waters overseas, joined the Marriott in Dubai. This was Renaissance era, now part of IHG. A couple of years there in Dubai, just to understand what it is to be out of the zone, out of your own country. And from there, moved on to England, joined Hilton 2006, and just over 7 years in England, and took a transfer to India, where I met Samrat in Chennai. Yeah, so 2013 onwards, I've been in India, done at Chennai, Bangalore, and now in Hyderabad. So South India is where I've found home, really, last 7 years.
Excellent, excellent. Wow, that's a lot of diverse experience. Let's go to Samrat, all the way from Maldives, logging in. Good to have you with us, Samrat, and please introduce yourself to our audience.
Well, good to meet you, Mr. Puri, after a long time, and old friend Parag, you mentioned already, and making new friends as well. Thanks, Manav, for making me a part of this hot seat. Feeling honored and absolutely excited to be here. Well, I started my career 26 years back as a hotel operations management training in Taj, 1993. Started with Taj Bengal, and 6 years down the line, getting the initial grounding, I wanted to explore and moved out to Dubai. I worked with the pre-opening hotel of Le Méridien Mina Siahi, managed the pool and beach bars. One of that has become a very well-acclaimed bar called Barasti, which is a talk of the town today. And thereafter, Fairmont was opening their first hotel outside North America, and Fairmont Dubai was coming into existence. I was in the pre-opening team of Fairmont Dubai. We opened the signature restaurant called Spectrum on One, which was a very unique concept in those days. 8 open kitchens, 250 seating, and fine dining. Absolutely, that was a great learning in my F&B career, I would say. And from there, I moved on to Shangri-La Baral Jissa, opening 9 outlets of their luxury 6-star wing, as they called it. And this was a period of 6 months, and I had to open all these outlets. And that was another great learning, beautiful location. And as destiny would have it, I got a call from my alma mater, Taj, in 2007. Came back to Rambagh Palace, Jaipur, as director of F&B. And again, wonderful experiences there. From where I became the general manager of Jai Mahal Palace, yet another beautiful property in Jaipur. After spending about 6 years in Jaipur, I moved to Lusaka in Zambia with the Taj Pamudzi. Thereafter, it was a short stint, but a very beautiful location to work in, and great learnings again in Africa. From there, I moved to Chennai. That's where I met Parag, and I was managing the Taj Connemara in Chennai. Relaunched the Rain Tree restaurant, which is the iconic Chettinad restaurant over there. From there to Calcutta, back again where I started my career, and making a full circle. And I did some renovations in that hotel. Relaunched the hub at the new avatar called Cal 27, the all-day dining. We brought in a new design element into the rooms and did some renovations there. From Calcutta, I moved to Taj Palace, New Delhi. Needs no introduction. Did some great. We did one of the best business in terms of convention and banqueting in that hotel during my time, and of course hosted a lot of heads of states. And then I felt this move to Maldives came after that, and I feel this was absolutely new learning, a very different form of a business, and absolutely enjoying it, barring the COVID, of course. And yes, that's been the journey so far.
Fantastic.
Dilip, we can't hear you. I don't know if the other panelists can.
No,
we can't.
We just.
Dilip, we can't hear you.
Samrat, is it because of you?
It's the connection from the Maldives, but the Wi-Fi should be still good.
No, Wi-Fi is damn good.
All right, it's coming back on.
No, we can see him moving.
Yeah, good.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm back.
Yes.
Okay, so Sunil, last but not the least, let's hear your story.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you so much again to you, Mr. Puri, to Manav, having me on the panel as a newbie in back in India. And great to meet all the panelists, right? I mean, in our hotel business, it's good to meet fellow general managers. So you can, call upon them and travel the city and explore incredible India. Can't wait for the times to get better. I was born in India, Amritsar, and 18. I left, went to La Roche in Switzerland for the hotel management course, and wanted to join an international company, and was lucky. I joined the Four Seasons. Started with Boston as a receptionist, I worked there for almost close to 2 years, and then Four Seasons was opening Leela Beach, Goa, back in the day with the Captain Nair, and there was an opportunity was there to, hey, let's go back to India and open a property there. So I was here for almost 9-10 months, as you know it, what happened there. And then I got transferred to where Samrat is now, in amazing, incredible, beautiful, Tiffany-colored Maldives waters. So I was there for a couple of years. And then in January of 2000, after Y2K, I don't know if people remember what Y2K is. Some of the people who are listening to us, I moved to Toronto in the middle of frigid cold weather. So I was there for a number of years, worked in rooms division, and transferred from there to Scottsdale, Arizona, which has sun probably 315 days of the year, from Toronto to extreme hot weathers, extreme hot, dry weathers. And from there, calling had to go to a tropical destination of the world. I got transferred to Hawaii, Maui. They call it the best magical island in the world as well. So it was very lucky, very fortunate. Amazing property. Worked there during the recession, the deep recession. So it was quite an experience. And from there, moved to Las Vegas, which was still suffering for the recession period as well. Probably was the last city which came out. Always wanted to move back to Asia, and Singapore had an opportunity. So I moved to Four Seasons in Singapore. Worked there for a number of years. Went to China from there, and now I'm here in Mumbai. It's been just close to a year. Great to be back in the motherland. Obviously, last 6 months have been very, very interesting, as you all know. But it's only moving upwards from there. So,
fantastic.
Thank you.
What's really interesting is predominantly all of you have significant international experience as well. And perhaps there is no better time than this to find the relevance of that experience and all the things you're doing with COVID. So let's move on to talk about some of the things which are happening with you right now. Let's talk about the owners first, because I think, barring Samrat, perhaps you are working for an owned and managed hotel, or even you have a owner in your case, I think, which is owned by the Chaudhary family, if I'm not wrong, right? Your property?
Yeah, so we are a JV. We actually, our company is called the Taj Asia Limited, and it's a 50-50 JV between CG Group and IHCL and the subsidiaries. Yeah.
But for the rest of you, it's your operators, there are owners, and I'd like to hear not just what's happening with your owners. I'm just saying generally how you see where dealing with the pandemic as operators, where your concerns are, whether it's with the business, whether it's with people. Are they aligned with what the owners' interests are? Because owners have bigger challenges. They've got probably loans and their properties becoming NPAs and all kinds of compulsions. So it'll be good to get some insights on how aligned in our industry are operators and general managers with their owners and asset managers in dealing with this pandemic and with people in particular. So let's once again start with you, Nalin.
Thanks, Dilip. Well, as we all know, we are in this crisis, but I believe this crisis also presents a lot of opportunities for all of us to align our business needs with our owners. And at IHG, what we have done is we've had a very phased approach to collaborate with the owners and see that we have enough and more opportunities to look at various key aspects of the business. So we treat them as partners, as we all do in other brands as well. So what we have done is, the first and foremost is to see that we look at the financial management part of the business after the COVID crisis. That's critical because with respect to cash flows, it is important that we have the financial prudence and the leadership by each general manager in each of our hotel to see that we get to the bottom of all the costs, effectively managing costs like utilities, costs like manning costs, and the efficiencies that come in with it, and work together to give them that support. From an IHG perspective, what we've also done is we've got market-tailored fee relief packages for our owners. And also we have deferred payment plans to support them during these crises. And of course, there has been relaxation in brand standards to see that we get some costs out and look at the bare essential at this point in time. And when we get back to normal, we get our standards, and we look at it in a different way. Again, it's important to have quick, decisive, and innovative solutions for various activities like manpower rationalization, effective cost management, which we have worked with them together to see that we get there. And over time, as our hotels have started opening, and we have seen some recovery coming into some geographies, but the key thing is to give the reopening support to the owners, and also make sure that the recovery plan is robust, and we discuss with them and keep them informed. And last but not the least, most important part is to see that we connect with them, engage with them on a regular basis, and that's key. Whether it's industry knowledge, whether it's a business continuity plan, it's important for us to see that we give them updates and we keep them totally in the know of what's happening and work with them as collaborators.
Yeah, I think you're right. You need to communicate. You need to just keep communicating.
Yeah, and above all, it's the leadership, which is important from each general manager. And we equip the leaders to see that they have enough tools to support not only the teams and operations, but also connect with the owners at every level to make them partners in this crisis. And honestly, we have felt so great about it. There is a collaborative effort which is happening at every hotel, and it's like working together in tandem to get over this crisis, and which is a great experience as we go on this journey to overcome this. And we don't know, we don't have the right answers right now, but we know that we are going to get over it, because we all are resilient, as we know. So that's how we are looking at, and that's where the support is coming to the owners, and we have a collaborative effort moving forward.
Parag, you've spoken about some more innovative aspects of how you are driving newer revenue streams, how you're managing cost efficiencies. Talk a bit about that, and what are the learnings you've had?
Sure. Puri, Hyderabad is the city certainly known for its food, and the hotel has been existing for over a decade. It's the 11th year now. The sort of experiences we had with the lunches being delivered to households, especially when people were not allowed to travel, not allowed to operate a restaurant. Demand for food just went through the roof. I mean, there was a point where we were not able to cater to those orders. And after we understood the opportunity is back here. We had our associates riding their bike, as of course, all the outsourced agencies, etc. We put sort of full stop to it. Little did we know that the food and beverage space would allow us so much growth. It was a team effort. We went ahead and put up a kiosk in a mall owned by our owners, by the group, which is very close to the hotel, a kilometer away. As things opened up in the month of June, that kiosk was sort of a place where we were interacting with the customers, which is where we got our getting leads from, which is where the social event leads started coming. We were selling our meals from that. The orders were taken, and it really is something that all of us never had thought of, that Westin Hyderabad would move into a mall kiosk and start selling the services. Even the rooms have been sold from that very desk. So these Marriott initiative of book now and stay later, or save now, stay later, has been a very, very big success for us across the country. I think that really allowed for the cash flow, as we already cashed in on that. We've been, like Nalin mentioned, we've been communicating very closely with some big experts sitting in our ownership office, and we've been listening to their experiences and understanding, even from their end, as they have many hotels, Bangalore, Mumbai, Pune, and literally being open to newer ideas and practice. So, yeah, food and beverage has really been a success story, and we are excited about the future of F&B.
Excellent. Samrat, we've been hearing some very innovative things happening in the Maldives to reopen tourism, how the islands have created these bubbles, and how you're being able to actually make sure that your island is COVID-free. I was hearing Deep Kalra speak about it a few days ago as well. Share with our audience some of the innovative, creative things which the country has done, and therefore islands and resorts like you have been able to benefit from that. And how has your restart been?
Yeah, that's a lovely question because Maldives as a destination is unique, absolutely known to you, and of course Sunil has also been there. It's a one island, one resort destination. All right, so that actually in itself is an infrastructure that kind of gives this guarantee of safety much better than many other resort properties or hotel properties can possibly boast of. So we are secluded. We are one island, one resort. Our villas are all mostly over water. They are separated from each other, and our connection with the rest of the world is all through probably the supply boats and certain connections that anything that is coming from elsewhere is very regulated. All right. So I think as a government, they have taken a call of trying to stay as lenient as possible because tourism is the only life source of business in that country. So if you have to survive and you have to get the guests to come, then of course you have to keep things a little liberal, instead of being too stiff on your rules and procedures. So on one hand, while they have been, very clear about the fact that we are not going to be overtly pushy about quarantining and things like that, but they are now made this new policy of getting the PCR test done before you arrive, and then you will be allowed to come to the island. But while you're coming to the island, the screening process in the airport, and then of course every resort is made to follow certain guidelines, which is like, for example, that many people can only come on board. So we make multiple trips in order to pick up the guests, and similarly, once they are arriving in the hotel, we have carried out, until this new PCR thing had been implemented, we were doing actually rapid testing on the guest arrival, and so on and so forth. And as I said, the guests are anyway secluded from each other because the rooms are set in a pattern like that. The expanse of the hotel is such that not too many people are kind of mingling together. Even if you're a full house, you never feel like there is too much of a crowd around you, and so on and so forth. And of course,
sorry if I may ask, what kind of occupancy levels have you come back to now in these early days?
So, much better than expected, Mr. Puri. The thing is, we started on the 15th of July is when the borders opened, and we decided to keep ourselves open. Out of the two resorts, we kept Exotica open. And in the month of August, we have gone almost up to 40% of the occupancy, on a peak day, of course. Yeah. So we have gone up to about 30-35 rooms of my 64 room property on a certain day, and but of course that's not the all the time trend or something like that. It's actually slowed down in the month of September to some extent, but there are ups and downs, but definitely much better than what we presumed. So
encouraging beginning.
Yeah, I must also tell you that since I have spoken to maximum people who came, and I was also wondering how are the guests going to respond to this whole thing. One thing that I've realized that the traveler is willing to travel. He needs the assurance of the brand that you are going to be providing a safe environment. He needs the travel comfort, that and of course the restrictions of the country. These are the 2-3 things. As long as that is met, people are dying to travel, and that's the way it came across from these travelers who came to me. And they were all very happy, and they realized that we are following the processes, and it seemed to work.
I think it's my turn, and the system just got hung up.
Don't blame it on me, Sunil, every time.
No. Hey, congratulations on 40%, buddy. It's remarkable for an island.
Well, that's the peak we hit at some time. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So there is a message for you, Sunil. Go for it, Sunil. So
okay, so I'll continue to go for it.
Dilip joins. Yeah, please.
Fantastic. All right. Well, guys, I have a feeling that when the COVID hit, I was spending more time with my owners than my wife, talking to her. And like Nalin said and Parag said, I think, and Samrat, we all have commonalities, right, in that answer, how we all manage the owners. And obviously, they had to very quickly look at their pockets and the cash infusion because they have been months where we have been cash negative, right? As I welcome back,
So,
Mr. Puri.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Yes.
So, Sunil, you're probably in the city hit the hardest in the country, and even the local protocols and guidelines have been pretty all over the place, South Bombay. So how has business been for you? Have you reopened? Are your experiences any different to your colleagues in other cities in terms of Mumbai and South Mumbai in particular?
No, you're right. No, thank you. And you're right. The norms have been up and down, right? And hence I was telling the panelists over here, and that I think I've spent more time with the owner than I have with my wife, initially, especially because things were just moving at a constant pace, right? Every day you go home thinking you have accomplished something, and the next day you start all over again, literally, right? I mean, you feel like, okay, I've got the business to a certain level. I think I feel good about it from where it was in the morning, and the next morning is a brand new start. I think to get the buy-in, the understanding from the owner was the most important thing. We knew right from the day one, as we were getting into March was getting over into April, that as a management company, we will be requiring the owner to help us, to move along and keep the hotel open. And we made the decision we will keep the hotel open. And once we decided, the ownership was caring about the employees and the limited guests who were there back then, and we got in international SOS. We were the only hotel at that time, I'm not sure how many others have, to bring them in for a 2-day survey, because we didn't know, what to do, what not to do. It was pandemic first time hit us as an industry in such a big, huge manner. And they were understanding. They spent the money on it, right? They wanted to make sure the limited guests who were in house and the employees had the empowerment, had the knowledge at that time to take care of those guests. So that was very important. Otherwise, it's been daily calls, meetings on, Teams, Zoom calls, you name it, right, to make sure they are aware of where the business is going. And I think you know the owners in Mumbai as well quite well. You've been around at St. Regis as well. But I think to get the buy-in on a daily basis, right, because they also have to manage the business. And the lockdown in Mumbai has not been unlocking at the same pace as the other cities around India. We still can't serve any liquor. We still can't open restaurants for outside patrons. And Mumbaikars can't wait. So there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Obviously, we have done all the cost containment, the productivity rates, making sure obviously our businesses are very flexible and from a cost standpoint, to ensure we continue to keep our head above water.
Okay. Yeah. So let me get on to the next question. I'll combine two, and I'm going to go around because we'll run out of time soon. So firstly, I want to understand from each of you, what are the different variables you're using now to project your business out? I mean, are you projecting, obviously you must have made some projections to the end of this year, then for next year. What are you using as the basis of those projections? Because I think there's no revenue manager who can give you an answer today, right? We don't have any trend or any data. So that's one part of the question. And the second part, as I said, is that just quickly tell us about the necessity to have made job cuts. Have you been able to do anything for the people who are being exited? Have you found creative ways of making sure that you can show them a light at the end of the tunnel, even if they're going through tough times now? So two parts of the question. I'm going to go around with each of you before we wind up the session. Let me start from the reverse, and Sunil, I'll go with you first.
Great, thank you. So I know you're right. Lots of challenges, right, with the employees, and we are in constant touch with them to make sure we stay engaged. It has been a ride for all of us. With the guests, it's ultimately the key is to make sure the business is returning. And we early on engaged with a company called Johns Hopkins Medicine International. We entered into a consulting agreement with them to make sure all hotels around the world were consulted, and also we were getting the right feedback from them. Also, we appointed a COVID-19 advisory committee as well. which keeps in the key members of the Four Seasons corporate team, along with the Johns Hopkins Medicine International. Also, we launched Lead with Care, which is a company-wide program. It has enhanced health and safety measures, which are built on the already stringent health and safety protocols within the Four Seasons as well. So these things are obviously helping. We have a hygiene officer appointed as well, who's making sure the audits are done on a weekly basis. Our guests are coming back. We have a loyal guest base as well, and they are appreciative. They are complimentary of what they're seeing, and they are happy to see that the employees are happy. I think that's the key, because
when do you see business return back, Sunil? Just give me a quick which quarter or which year do you think you might come back to 2019 levels?
2019 could be 2022.
2022.
Q4. Okay. Yeah.
So
it's going to take a while, but the rooms occupancy is picking up. We have come up with a great staycation package. What Parag was saying, the Marriott has come with a great package. The key is to make sure we are driving the business into our properties. The corporate business has disappeared for the most part because of Zoom and things like that. The leisure business is there. We are a city property. We're not a resort destination. Drive-in destinations will be obviously benefiting at this stage big time. I think they should be spearheading in the right direction. So we are creating those experiences for our guests, right? I mean, today it's raining. We opened up Air. Air is one of the most famous bars in the country, all around the world. And we are in monsoons, but we are being, let's open it up. The weather is nice, and we already catered a nice dinner for in-house guests yesterday at Air. It used to be a bar, now it's an open-air restaurant. Things like that, right? I think we have to be uber creative. Listen to the employees we have. They are talking to the guests as well, who are inside the building. It's the key is the cater to the customer, but also stay flexible, right? And we will get there. We'll get there with time. Micro weddings have started to begin. We can have some weddings in the hotels. I think that's a big trend moving in our direction. We need to embrace that. We need to jump at it. Parag mentioned the deliveries, which are also a big revenue source for the future as well. Our chef has opened up Sanchi. It's not in the restaurant, but it's on a delivery menu, right? He has got a 15-page menu. And it's got different price points as well, whether it's the regular Sanchi guest who wants to enjoy the meal or somebody who wants to try Sanchi for the first time and become a customer for life. These are all options that are available, right? So I think now you got to make sure it's not a Four Seasons customer. Every customer needs to become a Four Seasons customer, right? I mean, that's the way forward. And then only I can make sure all those employees who are sitting, some of those employees who are not at work today, they could be brought back because we want them back. Can't wait.
Parag, your market is a very strong RFP-dominated market, and largely international travelers also. They seem to have vanished for a while. What kind of forecasting are you doing to look at the future business, and when do you think it will come back?
Absolutely, Mr. Puri. We've been in touch with our customers, both the global customer, also the domestic ones. And you're absolutely right. Very high dependence on the global travelers, right? The Fortune 500. However, we have a very, very close eye on what's happening within each of these big conglomerates. They've of course allowed a lot of people to work from home, but still there is a small number that travels, and the trips are slow, and it's day trips right now. Things will get better. We certainly have an idea of what November should look like. Already doing a bit of budgeting exercise for next year. So literally keeping the ear close to the ground.
So when will you come back to 2019 levels?
I would again say it's mid 2022. So yes, it's good for a month. 2019 was a brilliant year for the country. Definitely, I think. It's a tall target. At the same time, the social connects. We've been able to strengthen our social connects the last 6 months. A number of micro weddings, 50 people, and from the 21st of September, we can now do 100 people weddings. So the sort of wedding pace that we now see is something that the hotel never thought before. People want to spend a lot of high APC, which is what we are forecasting also, but do very niche events. So My housekeeper
I like
is
the new
over
word
the job.
you're all using, micro weddings. Micro wedding seems to be a new buzzword.
We are
Interesting.
customizing right from the flower decor to what sort of music. I mean, the team has got time at hand, and the team doesn't want that money to go to a vendor. So we've got some very, very good participation from all our departments to, put up a good show as if it was a family wedding.
Okay, let me move to Samrat very quickly. Samrat, IHCL does some amazing thing for its people. Maybe it's not impacted you so much in the Maldives, but it'll be good to understand that. Have you done anything unique in which people who have been laid off or people who are not able to get back overall on the island, I mean, in the country of Maldives, and what you're doing, and also give us your own assessment of when your business comes back to peak levels?
Okay, so Mr. Puri, I'll take your second question first, because in terms of forecasting, as you know, the VUCA world, the volatile, uncertain, and complex and ambiguous is very difficult to forecast for sure. And so what we are doing is we are looking at business in short range. So we are looking at it, now we look at our projections weekly. And this is how it happened when the pandemic started, as we all noticed that, things have changed so fast and rapid that it's very difficult to project well in advance on what's going to happen. When we were opening our hotel on the 15th of July, I wasn't sure what I'm going to do in August. And we luckily did much better than what we expected. And from then onwards, we are, and we have been, as I said, watching the business closely in terms of how the world is shaping up, what is happening to the travel scene, what are the different countries reacting to the COVID, and all that. I think that these are the parameters right now to look at. And mostly what affects us in a destination like Maldives is the flight paths and the air bubbles. And for us, for example, Taj, India is a huge market, and we are really looking eagerly at India opening up air bubbles. We have a few movements happening from down south. But of course, Delhi, Bombay, when these air bubbles will start working and the ease of travel will come, the quarantining rules will ease them. That's when we will obviously be able to project better. If you're asking me, I think the advent of the vaccine, when it comes into the market, that will automatically spell a lot of positive energy into everybody's level of trust on should I travel, should I not? And I think that is going to add a lot of vigor to travel. And a quick comment on the people side is this, that I have always believed in open communication, constantly getting back to our people, keeping them agile. And working in an island is very different because, we actually live with our people in the island 24/7. And, while we were on a lockdown for almost 4 months, that was my biggest target of keeping them resilient, keeping them active. I did a lot of sports activities, a lot of engagement activities. People in distress who are out of the island, who are at home, we have actually gone ahead and as a leadership team, we took advice from psychiatrists online and actually done counseling sessions with people and trying to keep them active and agile. And most of it has come through constant communication with our people and telling them that this is what is ahead of us. This is the uncertain environment ahead of us. I may not have solutions for everything, but we need solutions to work it out together. And I must say, I got resounding response from the team. And yes, as a robust company, we have got enough and more opportunities of finding space for people, redeploying them across our hotels. And this is what all is an active work in progress. And I think multi-skilling and multitasking is going to be the way forward. And these are the elements that we keep in mind, and keeping people at the center of our the cornerstone of whatever we do.
Lastly, coming to Nalin. Nalin, I want to specifically ask you, how many job losses have taken place, let's say, in the hotels you run? You have a portfolio of hotels under you. Give me a number if you can, 30%, 20%, 40%, what is it?
Okay, I'll answer it in two parts. First is what we have done when COVID started. We went about going through all the process of manpower rationalization and salary revisions in a very structured way. We did not look at deep cuts initially because nobody had the answers to start with as to how much time will it take to get back to normal. Then when we realized, we worked with our owners and partners to see that we get the manning rationalization done first, and the little salary revisions which started off and then became deeper cuts over a period of a couple of months. However, we have made sure that in all our geographies and hotels, we do not put many employees on leave without pay, though there have been employees because of the crisis we are in, they have gone on leave without pay. But our endeavor is to see that when the business do get back, we give them the first preference and get them back on board. To do that, what you also asked about, what the companies are doing to look at the employees from a welfare standpoint. We have a stay in touch program, global IHG program, where people who have been put on sabbatical or leave without pay for the moment because of business emergencies, we stay in touch with them and make sure that we give them resources for mental and physical well-being. We also make sure that we give them an upskilling program so that they can upskill themselves while they are at home and get better on their technical expertise. And then we also keep updating them and we be in touch with them. As everybody said, that it's important to be in touch with all the associates to see that we keep them motivated, and at the same time, as and when the opportunity comes in, we get them back. Dilip.
Connected.
Mr. Puri, we can hear you now. We can hear you, Mr. Puri.
You're back.
Well, looks like you can see me, but I can't see anybody else. So I'm just wondering if you're still on.
We are still on. We can see
our
you.
session is winding up now. So if you can hear me, gentlemen, I'm sorry with the connectivity issues. I think there's a challenge all across Delhi this morning, but I want to thank all of you for being on the panel today. I wish we had more time to talk, and I just want to express everybody's appreciation for the most wonderful things you're all doing with your hotel, with your people, with your customers, with your owners. Good luck, all the best, stay well, stay safe, and thank you once again for being on the panel. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Mr. Puri.